Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some of these style favorites that I've had on repeat. I thought I would do things a little bit differently today and actually chat through the types of items that I've been gravitating towards, because I've got a few different variations in my wardrobe. Now today's video does include a paid for integration with FARFETCH. I'm really excited to be working with them again. It is kind of one of my favorite online retailers to shop from because essentially FARFETCH, if you aren't familiar with it, it brings together a whole bunch of really small boutiques from all around the world, also those larger department stores as well. Like in the UK you've got Browns on there, but then you also have small local boutiques based in, Switzerland and Sweden and here in Australia and New Zealand. So it's kind of cool because it connects you with shops all around the world to bring you a really incredible selection of designer items and some really amazing brands. Now, I do have a few pieces that I wanted to share, which are kind of part of the types of items that I've had on repeat, which are new, but also I do have a discount for 10% off if you do want to make a purchase. So I'm going to pop that on screen here and also put all the details down in the description box below. I think a really great way to get a little bit of a savings on something that you have already been thinking about adding to your wardrobe in particular. And if you missed my last video, FARFETCH have also recently launched beauty on their website as well. So there's a really incredible selection of luxury beauty brands on there. Some of my favorites are Tom Ford, Westman Atelier, Charlotte Tilbury, and also La Mer as well. I think probably the thing I like the most about FARFETCH, aside from the fact that they tend to have a lot of items you can't source anywhere else, is their really amazing rewards program. So I mentioned this last time, I actually had a $150 reward, which I was able to put towards the items that I ordered, but the system allows you to get things like free shipping, you get access to the private sale before anyone else. It really is an amazing program and they definitely have some really amazing incentives. Also for your birthday you get a discount, so I put that towards getting some things for our kids because I do love Bobo Choses and Animals Observatory, and they always have a really good selection on FARFETCH. So I want to talk through the new items, and I think I might start with the first sort of thing I found myself reaching for a lot, which is a great mini bag. Now, I finally added this back to my wardrobe from FARFETCH. It was something that I had been wanting to get for a really long time, but had just put off, and I wasn't really sure which size to get. It is the Bao Bao Issey-miyake. I believe this is called the Prism bag. So I got it in this beautiful sage green, which is a color I found myself really gravitating towards a lot. I'm really drawn to colors that I think are reflected in nature, and it's probably because they are a lot easier to pair and they just feel really natural to throw on. This is just a little top handle small tote. There is a large one as well, which I think that you can wear on your shoulder. My cousin's wife has that one actually, but it's just a great little interesting shoulder bag. It's got a lot of dimension to it. I like the fact that it packs down really easily if you're traveling, so it's a good one to take with you overseas or on holiday. It does have a little zip up closure inside, but this has just been such a sweet little addition to my wardrobe and a great way for me to inject a little bit of color to my outfits, especially if I am wearing all neutrals like what I've got on today. This would be a really nice pairing. So I've been loving the mini bag. Then the second item that I've really found myself gravitating towards a lot, especially on those milder days here in Sydney, is a slip skirt. And I finally added a slip skirt to my wardrobe from Reformation. I've been wanting to buy one of these for a really long time, and this one in particular I was especially drawn to because of the print and again the color. So blue is another one of those colors that we see pop up in nature everywhere, and I like this particular blue. It's really nice and richly saturated. It's not quite a gem toned blue, but just really pretty, and it has this really marvelous tropical floral print over it. So to me, again, this is something that would be really nice to wear on vacation, on holiday, but also something that I see myself reaching for quite a bit during our summer months here. And I like the fact that for me this would be kind of my one pop of color in my outfit. I would keep everything else reasonably neutral, and I will have some cutaways so you can see how these items look on, and also one or two of the ways that I would style them as well. I got this in a size US 4, and I have ordered from Reformation in the past, but I was also a size smaller, and I will say I found that this fits true to size. So I'm an AU8 typically, or a 26 in jeans for reference. I really like the length of it too because it is a slightly longer skirt. So that is sort of the second category of items. The final item I added to my wardrobe from FARFETCH, I think is going to be a divisive one, and it sits firmly in the category of chunky shoes, which I'm loving, whether it's a chunky boot or a chunky sandal. It's definitely a type of shoe that I've really found myself wanting to wear, and I find it balances out a lot of the tailored pieces that I like to throw on a daily basis. So yeah, like I said, you're either going to love these or you're going to hate them. I personally love them. They're very, very different for me, and you might have already seen them already just on my blog or my Instagram, but they are the Jill Sander chunky sandals. They've got this, it's a bit of a platform sandal with the thick tread on the bottom, and then it has these woven straps which are actually backed with a super supple leather. I got mine in the European 40 and I do find that they fit true to size. Just for context, Jill Sander, probably one of my favorite designers ever. I think if I had to pick one brand to shop from for the rest of my life, even if it meant only buying one item a year, it would be Jill Sander. I just think that the designs every single season are really interesting. They're quite dynamic. They are modern and just really interesting sort of silhouettes and shapes. And I was looking on the website to see how these have been styled, and it's quite often with a cotton sort of pencil length skirt, and I like that. I like the fact that these really create a bit of friction against whatever they've been worn with, and that's exactly how I personally have been pairing them as well. They are quite a weighty, hefty shoe, I have to admit, so they're not the kind of shoe I'd wear if I was going to be walking fast anywhere, but I haven't had a single blister from them. I find them really, really comfortable on the foot, and yeah, they're just a little bit of fun. It's kind of funny because I found the Chanel dad sandal dupes that I had added to my wardrobe just weren't the ones for me. They weren't right, but these I really like, and yeah, it's just a little bit different. So those are the items that I added to my wardrobe from FARFETCH, which kind of sit within these style categories that I'm reaching for a lot. Don't forget that I do have that 10% off discount code. I'll have it on screen again, and also all of those details are down in the description box below, along with links to everything that I'm going to be sharing in this video. So I'll pop these down and then we can start chatting about the other items or styles that I have been wearing on repeat. Okay, so seeing as we're talking about such a sort of heavy masculine item, I want to move on to something that's a little bit more tailored and feels really finished and polished, and that is essentially tailored trousers. So I would say I've got a few favorite pairs here. These two were a sale purchase. They're both from House of Dagmar, and the thing I really like about them is that they have a really beautiful boucle texture to them, so it's really, really texturally interesting, and I'm not sure how well this is going to show up on camera, especially because it is a bit of an overcast day here, but I absolutely adore these, the way that they fit. I just think they are chef's kiss, as Gen Z would say. But yeah, I like the fact that they're cropped, they show a little bit of ankle, they're really kind of a proper straight cut through the leg, so there's a lot of width there, they don't feel tight anywhere, they just feel really easy to throw on. I've been wearing a lot of really chunky knits, which is the next one that I'm going to talk about, and I find that they work really, really nicely with these trousers, and it just makes your outfit, I'm going to say this again, but it just looks overall really texturally interesting and just adds a lot of dimension to the outfit. But yeah, I've been absolutely loving these, and for me, for the most part, it is a cropped trouser, and I do really like the way that they look with a lug sole boot or the Jill Sander sandals that I just shared before. The other pair, which you will have seen me wear so many times, are from Facade Pattern, which has probably become one of my favorite brands. They're these ones here. I think they're called the wool circle trouser, and these actually almost have a bit of a ballooned shape to them. Again, they are cropped, but they're very straight cut through the leg, and I love that. I think it's the fact that it is a newer silhouette for me. It feels different, it feels fresh, feels exciting, and that's really what I have been looking for in what I have been wearing a lot, and I think it's going to be reflected in the other items that I share as well. So we'll move on to oversized knits, which, can we just highlight the one that I'm wearing? I feel like this one I have to talk about. If you watched my low-buy updates, then you will have seen me mention this. This was a bit of a treat to myself for my birthday this year. It is Old Celine from the Phoebe Philo era. It is just a beautiful cashmere turtleneck sweater. Now, Chunky knits in general are something that I've been gravitating towards a lot, and this is nothing new for me, but I have found that I've been wearing them in replacement of an actual coat, and I've barely needed to wear a coat this winter, which is a little bit surprising. But this one I've been looking for years. I first tried it on when my husband and I moved to Australia, and I was working in head office at David Jones, and Celine was one of the brands that they had in consignment, so I would have been able to use my staff discount to purchase it. I tried it on, but it was just so much money. It was around $3,300 full retail price, which was a lot of money for me, especially at that stage of my life when we had a lot of other things that we were saving for. Basically, it wasn't a priority for me to spend that much money on one item of clothing. So I put it at the back of my mind, and I thought, you know what, it'll come. It's one of those seasonal pieces she brings back every year, so I'll get it later. I tried it on again just before Hedi Slimane took up the creative direction at Celine, and again I chose not to buy it, and I could afford to do so at the time, but I thought, you know what, I'll come back. I never went back to the store to get it, and then by the time I went back, his new collections were in store, and they were all a much more shrunken, slim fit. So this was completely gone. I have been looking at pre-loved the entire time, and actually throughout that entire time I was looking to see if I could get it pre-loved for a much better price. Finally found it, finally found the exact color I wanted in my size, and also it was a pretty reasonable price as well, considering that it was basically new. So very, very happy with this pre-loved buy. But two of the other chunky knits that I've been wearing a lot, let me grab them. Now these are both in that more premium price point, but I don't think you need to spend this much money. One is from The Row. This one is a cashmere wool sweater, which I bought during the Boxing Day sales. It was 50% off. I wouldn't have probably bought this full price, I don't think, because I feel like you can get the exact same look that this gives with a Uniqlo cashmere sweater. So I'll link a Uniqlo cashmere knit below, the men's ones. But this is so oversized, so cozy and really warm, and I found since I've thrown it in the washing machine, it's ended up becoming even softer, and I found myself wanting to wear it a lot more. Now, I quite like wearing these sorts of knits either with leggings or with a slip skirt, as I mentioned earlier, because I like the way it looks when it's worn loose. I think it creates a really interesting silhouette. So the other one I have was a Black Friday purchase from last year. This one is from Jenny Kane, and it's one of their alpaca knits. These do pill, actually both of those sweaters have pilled, in case you're curious. You just need to use a wool comb to tidy them up. But this is the other one that I've got, and this isn't quite as soft, and I think if you had particularly sensitive skin, you'd probably find this a little bit too itchy, but this paired with that slip skirt, dreamy. I love that combo. Definitely one that I've worn and one that I will be wearing again. I am an outfit repeater over here. So chunky knits are kind of the next category. Then I want to move on to maybe a piece of outerwear. So I kind of said that I've not been wearing coats, but what I have been wearing are shackets. Now, for me, this feels like that third piece as opposed to necessarily being an item of outerwear, because it's something that I've been wearing in replacement of something like a blazer, because it feels more fitting, especially when worn against these kind of fuzzy, cozy, knitted textures. So the one that I have in my wardrobe from last year, you're no longer able to buy, but I think they might have a similar one. This was from the men's Jill Sander Uniqlo collection. A beautiful forest green, but I do have a newer one, and this one is from Onti, which is an Australian brand, and it's in this really, really lovely camel color, which I like because it's a bit brighter, and I'm really enjoying wearing those lighter neutrals in the colder months. I think that it's just a nice way to brighten up a dreary day like today. But this has the tortoiseshell buttons, and the thing that's really fun about this one is that it does also have a tie around the waist as well. I think these can be a really fun way to play around with the proportions, and also look really nice with a full length slip dress. So that's another look that I have been kind of wearing a bit. Then moving on to my next kind of most worn sort of style staple over the winter months, and that is a pointed toe flat. So the ones that I have here that I've been wearing probably the most are from Vivaya, and there's two different styles, but both in really easy neutrals. So you can kind of see that that's one of the themes from a color perspective, aside from actually wearing some really subtle pops of color in my outfits. But I like these because they really draw the eye downwards, and they're leg lengthening. For me, they're a really nice way to finish off an outfit, make it look more polished, especially when I am wearing more of a casual look, because that really is what I have on most of the time, and I don't necessarily always want to wear a little block heel, which is my other kind of go-to, but I find these are a little bit more practical and comfortable for me, especially on an everyday basis. So yeah, a pointed toe flat has been kind of my other sort of go-to style favorite. And then I wanted to end on the slim or straight leg jeans. So this has sort of been a bit of a trend for me in terms of what I've been reaching for probably the last kind of 12 to 18 months. I've really eased myself into wearing a straighter leg and I'm really enjoying it. I've definitely found I've eschewed my skinny leg jeans in favor of something that does have a little bit more give and a little bit more room through the legs. So right now the ones I'm wearing are from Totem, which you will have seen me wear a lot. They're one of my favorites and they kind of go with everything. One of those ones I have in more than one color. But then my other favorite, which is a little bit more of a skinnier fit, are from Witchery, and sadly these aren't available anymore. I don't even have a button on them, so I have to wear them with a belt every single time I put them on. I really have to fix that, but hard to find someone who will repair denim buttons in Sydney, I've found anyway. If you know anyone, you live here, please let me know who your go-to is. But yeah, I just find that it's a really nice way to, again, just play with proportions and silhouettes, and I especially like the way that they feel really balanced when I am wearing something that is a bit more oversized and chunky like the knit I have on right now. And that's interesting to me because I would have thought previously that a straight leg jean, it would be better with something really slim fitting on top, but I find that depending on the shoe that I'm wearing, I can really make it work. Even the jacket, so playing with proportions, the rule of thirds, all those sorts of things really come into play when I'm building my outfits. And I suppose that's probably one of the reasons why I really enjoyed also wearing a tailored trouser as well, because it's a way to play with different sort of moods or vibes. So going for something that's a little bit more formal, despite the real lack of formality in my life. I guess in this perspective, these are definitely the more casual bent of that, but yeah, just a little bit of a fun thing that I have noticed when it comes to my style preferences and tastes right now. So that is it. That is a little peek into the types of items that I've really been loving at the moment. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I want to know what you've really been gravitating towards. Like, is there a particular thing that you have just had on repeat as part of your style uniform? Please do let me know. Don't forget, I do have 10% off at FARFETCH. All those details are going to be on screen down in the description box below. A really great opportunity to go and splurge on that special something that you've been wanting to add to your closet, or perhaps upgrade a couple of your wardrobe basics. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, for spending some of your time with me. I know how precious that is, and I will see you next time with a brand new video. See you very soon. Bye.